This is the ultimate NAS. It's the UGREEN AI NAS. And we have a couple different varieties right here. Now, I've already taken a look at the big one with the screen on the side. Now it's time to take a look at the slightly more minimalistic, but I think still extremely powerful variant. This time we're going to look at the iDX6011. So they can both hold up to 196 terabytes. They both have 6 SATA drive bays. They both run the UGREEN OS. But the difference is the cores and the screen on the front. But let's talk about the two different cores. So on the Pro, you get the Ultra 7. It's got 16 cores, 16 threads. It's the Ultra 7 255H. On the regular 6011, the non-Pro version, you have the Intel Core Ultra 5 125H. It's got 14 cores and 18 threads. A little bit different there. It actually has more threads, but fewer cores. So what's the difference going to be? Well, real cores are always going to be a little bit faster than threads, if you know what I mean. So, of course, the Core Ultra 7 having all real cores, that's going to be a little bit faster, but it's got 16 versus 14. So it's, I don't know, they're very similar in speed. The Core Ultra 7 does have a better AI processor. So if you care about that, it has a 96 TOPS AI processor versus the Core Ultra 5, which has an AI processor that can do about 33 TOPS. So about 3 times the AI performance, but when it comes to CPU performance, they're about the same. And that's why this is so interesting to me, because if you're someone who cares more about, NAS and NAS things and less about AI and AI things, well, then I think the DX6011 non-Pro is a very, very attractive unit because it also saves a little bit of money. Now, you don't get the screen on the front either, so if you're going to put it in the closet, that doesn't matter or whatever, or storage room. But yeah. Anyway, we have a couple different options when it comes to the memory as well. You can get 64 gigabytes or 32 gigabytes. And then we also have 2 M.2 drives on the inside of all of these units. So they're completely loaded. Above and beyond that, we're talking all 10 gig Ethernet here. Now, there's a lot of other companies out there who try to nickel and dime you, and they sell you really fancy professional units, and they don't put 10 gigabit Ethernet. They've got like gigabit or maybe 2.5 if you're lucky, and then they try to sell you a very expensive add-on adapter that gives you 10 gigabit Ethernet. And UGREEN is like, no, how about 2 10 gigabit Ethernet ports? That's one of the reasons why I've been doing some consulting for them, is because I saw what they were doing and I was like, called them up and I was like, hey, I want to be on board with this. I want to, send you ideas and have you send me stuff to mess with. So that's what's been going on. The other major difference in this one and the Pro version is that the Pro version has an Oculink port. The Oculink port is going to allow you to run an external GPU dock or something, and that can give you even more power for your, tops and slops. Yes, you can run a lot of VMs with this, and the Oculink can also probably be used for like an external GPU that you can pass through to one of your VMs. I haven't tested this, but should work in theory because it's just plugging into the bus. It should be right there and available. So yeah. All right, when it comes to the ports, well, it's loaded. We have Thunderbolt 4 ports on this, and those can also work just like plugging stuff up to the bus. So you could run a GPU dock over Thunderbolt 4 if you wanted to. So Oculink is just kind of a little bit more pure, but Thunderbolt 4 is also very nice. You got a couple of USB 3 ports, you got a couple of USB 2 ports, and we also have HDMI that can do 8K. So you could run this thing as a computer if you wanted to and use the HDMI, which brings me to my next point with all of these UGREEN units. You don't have to keep the UGREEN OS on there if you don't want to. You could install other operating systems entirely. You could just run Linux and set this up however you want. You could run whatever you want on this because they don't lock it down like some other companies do, which is another reason why I like working with them. So you have a couple of the M.2 slots in there. So you can go into the UEFI, and the UGREEN OS is installed on an internal separate piece of memory. That's, it's a separate storage device. It's not part of your pool. It's not part of your M.2s. You can go in and just switch your boot device over to one of the M.2 and then install another operating system on that, test it out, see how it runs on the system. And if you don't like it, just go back into your BIOS, switch back to the UGREEN hard drive, and then you'll be right back in UGREEN OS and, as good as new. I prefer the UGREEN OS, and I like all the stuff they've been adding. We'll cover the software in just a second. I want to finish going through all the stuff that we can do here. All right, so when it comes time to start installing some hard drives, we've got some Seagate hard drives, and it's important to make sure that you get NAS grade drives. These are going to be, up and running all the time. So we've got some of the Iron Wolf drives out here, a couple 4 terabytes, several 4 terabytes actually. We're going to load it up with those and then get a storage pool set up. Now, for the M.2, we've got a couple of those as well. Now, one of the things about M.2, you can create a separate storage pool with that. You can kind of do whatever you want. But what's nice about having that is, let's say you're, installing certain applications, maybe the AI app or whatever, you can put that onto the M.2 so that it's faster. You can put some of your VMs directly onto the M.2 so they load faster. So you can just kind of pick and choose what you want to put and where you want to put it. All right, let's go ahead and get this set up. Now you can do all this on your phone if you wanted to. I'm going to show you how to do it using the web UI. It's pretty easy, but you also have the UGREEN software that's equally easy. Okay, so I got a lot of devices. Let's go ahead and register this one. You can also do this on your phone, but I'm going to do it right here just so it's, easy. I don't need all that extra stuff. You can name it anything you like, and we're good. I'm already going to go ahead and change my avatar. You can do that right here from computer. There we go. Where's Krymith? There's Krymith. Perfect. And we're all set. Now, if you want to bind to an email address, you can get notifications, if something goes wrong with one of your hard drives or something. So I recommend usually doing this, but you can also use the UGREEN link to be able to access your device remotely from anywhere else, your phone, your app, whatever. It's basically just a link back to your home network. So you can do this if you want to as well. I have other methods. You can always, use DDNS or something, but I've got other methods as well. So there's a few different options here. For most people, I think it's good to do the important updates, but I like to be notified so I can decide when to update every single app. So I'm going to do it that way and then click on initialize. All right, and here we are. Let's go ahead and get started. It's going to take you through all the first things. Got a little tour right here. Yes, I'll show you all the stuff. Control panel, app center. And then over here, we've got your wallpaper settings and everything else. This is Ulia, and it's the large language model that they already have installed. I'll show you that as well. Now, the first thing you're going to want to do is just set up your storage. It brings everything up and says, hey, let's create a volume right here. So I'm going to select all of the hard drives that I have just installed, all 6 of those, and click on next. And then for the RAID, we've got a couple different options here. RAID 5 will allow 1 drive to fail, and RAID 6 will allow 2 drives to fail. So it'll tell you right here how much storage space that you'll have. And there's other options as well, but I think these 2 are the primary 2 that we should be considering. RAID 6 is good if you want that extra security. Then when it comes to your file system, I recommend BTRFS because that supports snapshotting, which means you can basically go back in time and look at some of your old files. You can also do deduplication and a few different other fancy things that will just help keep your hard drive organized. So there we go. Create that one. And it'll format all these drives. So we're going to create another storage pool, and this time we're going to use both of those M.2. See, selected both of those. Now we have our options. We have RAID 0 and RAID 1. JBOD means just a bunch of drives. So you'll just have 2 hard drives in there, but I like to do RAID. So if you want just the fastest performance, RAID 0 is good. But you'll feel that maybe if you have the 10 gigabit Ethernet plugged up. But since I'm not using 10 gigabit, I'm using 2.5, this is going to be fine for me. Now, this will use 1 drive as parity, meaning that 1 drive is going to be redundant, but it'll give us some security. So if one of them fails, you just swap it out and you'll be good to go. So we'll do RAID 1. And again, I'll do BTRFS. And I guess I could have named the storage pool, but whatever. All right, there we go. It's going to format those 2 drives, even though they're empty. So now we have 2 storage pools. This one's an M.2. And this one is the regular spinning drives. Once you get those set up, it's going to tell you right over here, hey, we got to create some folders and stuff. So even though you got the storage pools, well, you need to get your, folders up and running there. So I'm going to make a few folders. It's telling you what to do. Shared folder is what you need to do. Let me go ahead. Yep. We got to enable full rights. Good. Confirm. If you want a personal folder, you can enable that, but it's whatever. All right. So let's go down here to the shared folder. I'm going to push plus and do create a shared folder. And you can make them, whatever you want. Just these are going to be the main shares on your NAS. Assign a user. You can assign different users to different folders. You can give different people their own, folders or whatever. I'll do another one for work. Call it work. Now, I want to make one more folder that's just the M.2. So I'm going to create another shared folder here and pick volume 2. And this is going to be, just call it speed because it's the fast folder, right? Cool. Now we have 3 folders. This one's the M.2. All right. Now, if you want to map these, you just hover up here and it'll tell you your LAN IP address. So if you want to map these drives, so in order for this to work, we need to go over here to our file services and turn on a few things. Just enable the SMB service. That's for Windows. I'm going to press Windows key R and bring up my run command right here. Do whack, which is / 172.16.16.205. And do remember credentials if you're going to be mapping drives. And there you go. There's our drives. Speed, work, and media. So you can just right click on that and then click on map network drive. Well, yeah, sure. U is fine. Whatever. And there we go. Every time you restart your computer, this will be here mapped as your U drive, or whatever drive you set it up to be. Let's go install a few different apps, shall we? Now, the first thing it's going to do is have you install the common software, which is just really useful to have all this in one click. Theater app's great, photos, sync and backup, click install. And then I'm just going to put that on volume 1 because we don't need the extreme speed for that. And then we're going to do the Ulia app on volume 2, which is faster. So this is going to be installed to the M.2. This is going to take a little bit longer because it's installing that entire large language model. It's downloading one locally, so it's going to be running directly on your NAS. While I'm here, I'll also install a few other things like virtual machines. Volume 1, why not? You got text editors, SAN manager, you got some LUNs or whatever. You can mess with that. And the Office is just very useful. NVIDIA driver, what's that doing here? Jellyfin, I'll install that, why not? It's going to install Docker. I'm just installing all kinds of stuff. So I threw Windows 2000 into the virtual machine software. There we go. And it just works. That was really easy. If you want to do a new VM, you click on new VM right here, new VM, and you can do create manually or import a VM from another machine. I've got 2 ISOs that I've uploaded, but you can upload another image, add image. Let's do Cache EOS, why not? I don't know why I'd be doing this. This is a very heavy installation of Linux, but you can do it. All the while checking on this. It's all doing this at the same time on this NAS. Like while this is doing this is doing this. I mean, this is way faster than what you need for Windows 10. So there we go. And now once that's uploaded, you can just close this window and I'm going to click on Cache EOS, which is based on Arch Linux. Put it on volume 1 right here. And then I'm going to say it's Linux. I'll give it 2 cores and 2 gigabytes of memory. Let's give it 3. Why not? We don't need any extra ISOs because all the VirtIO stuff will just be taken care of magically. 20 gigabytes is probably okay. Give it a second. And that'll show up right here. So we can start a second virtual machine because we got a lot of cores. We can connect to this one as well. All right, Cache EOS, let's do it. I've got 2 virtual machines going at the same time because I'm crazy. But this is the kind of stuff you can do with this much power. Monitoring them both. This one's thinking hard. So now we got both the VMs running. We got the past right here. Yeah, check this out. Bring back some memories, right? And then we have the future right over here. This is Cache EOS. We're going to go to the control panel just for the sake of memories. Yeah, there we go. Hardware device manager right there. So over here you can pick your host. You can put it on just one or the other port, you know. So I better put it on the one that's plugged in. There we go. Same thing for you, Cache. With the Photos app, I've just imported a whole bunch of pictures from Taiwan. There's some AI that you can add to this, and it's all local AI. It doesn't, run in the cloud. It doesn't talk to anything in the cloud, but click on Intelligent over here. We've got people recognition and text recognition and image recognition and all these different things that you can put on there, pet recognition. So, and you can set them up to work on personal libraries or shared libraries, depending on whether or not you have, multiple users on there. You can have your own personal libraries for everyone. So I'm just going to go up here and show you how this works. I have not created any playlists. I haven't created any folders or anything like that. So I'm just going to look for food, which I always do when I'm in Taipei. I always look for food. Give it a second here and let's see if the AI, it's just started running, so it hasn't indexed everything. So it found street food. How about that? So there we go. It's found some food. And this is actually delicious. Also found this. That was delicious as well. I'm going back to Taipei tomorrow. So, okay, we'll just leave this alone. But yeah, you can go ahead and let your photos be indexed. All right, speaking of AI, let's check out the AI console right here. So we have app authorization. You can go in here and add models. So we've got Quinn 3, and this is the model they have that's pre-installed on here. This is Ulia version 2B, so that's on there. And then we have a speech to text model. If you want to hook up the mic and do that, you can do that. Now, if you want to hook up to the cloud and, use OpenAI or something, you can do that, but I'm not going to do that. And then we have some smart commands. You can hook it up with different apps and then be able to do smart commands. And, it basically just runs all locally. So I'll go ahead and close that out, and then I'll show you the Ulia app. So right now you can pick your different things. I'm going to use Quinn 3. And if you pick this one, it does have access to the cloud. Well, actually this one has access to the cloud as well, but you've got the cloud model right there. So you can toggle this on and off, but it tells you privacy warning and all that. But anyway, I just want to ask it a few things like, let's see if it knows who created the music for Doom, and we're going to see how fast it is. I do not expect this one to be nearly as fast as the Pro unit, but this is about how fast you can expect your responses to be. Michael C. Williams. Actually, the music was... Okay, let's see if it gets it right. So far, it's not right. Ken the Man Williams. Anyway, this is how... I'm just doing this to show you how fast it'll spit answers back to you. Whether these are accurate or not, I don't know. That's going to be up to you to vet. But the same thing with any cloud-based models. I don't trust their accuracy as far as I could sling a piano. But this is how fast it can spit back random things. Let me show you something else that's really handy. I'm going to open up the Ulia app right here and just ask it some questions about the NAS that we are using right now. Click on Smart Commands over here, and then we can just search for stuff. Now we can look for stuff about the NAS, but we can also look for photos and whatever. So let's just say like search photos. We're going to say look for sausages, because I take a lot of pictures of sausages when I'm traveling. Give it a second to analyze my photos. And check that out. It went through my photo library, and I didn't tag any of these. It just knew that these were pictures of sausages. Delicious sausages from Taipei. So you can do that with photos. It just opens up the Photos app. And while you're in the Photos app, you can also do the same thing up here on the top. Like if I type art, this is not going to work because I've done a bunch of photography, but if you have actual art pictures, I don't think it's going to find anything. But oh, it did. Look at that. It actually found... I forgot that I did take a picture of SmartWork. It found it. So all this is being indexed locally right here on my NAS, and you can do it inside the Photos app or right here inside Smart Commands. So we can also do other smart commands. You can use text-to-speech if you want to as well, because we do have the AI console and we can install text-to-speech model. But I'm just going to keep doing it this way. Let's say I want to search for let's do some film stuff. Let's see if we have any movies with Scoot McNairy. And look at there, it found all of this. It found Scoot McNairy. He's in 4 works right there. It shows what we've got. They're all Halt and Catch Fire, of course. And then it takes us directly to the theater app, and we can watch stuff there. So smart commands are really useful. You can do music timers. You can have it play music. You can have it create sync tasks. So you can use this to do all kinds of fun things. Next up, I'll show you the theater module. So this is very similar to like MB, Plex, or Jellyfin. And I've got a collection right here, anime shows. There they all are. I just threw a bunch of things into a folder, and it went through and said, okay, cool. Let me pull all the metadata for this. So it did. I'll show you really quickly how to add another show, or another, I guess, library. By the way, Kowloon Generic Romance is probably the best anime from 2025. You should watch it. It's beautiful art too. Up here you got a cog. Click on the cog. Yes, it tells you to add library right there. All right, yeah. We can add data sources like the movie database and all that kind of stuff, and then add users and have them, give them access to different folders. I'm just going to show you how to add a new library. We'll call it just shows. There we go, and we'll add a folder here. So I've put some stuff over here in my shared folders inside the media folder. There we go, shows. All right, it's good. You can add multiple folders if you want to. I'm going to pull information from the movie database, and we're good to go. Allow. And watch how fast it's going to start pulling all this stuff in. Click on the home back here. And look, it's already pulling stuff. It's that fast. It's grabbing these thumbnails so fast. This is the best show, just so you know. It is the best. This is how fast things open up and play. You just click them and they open up. And then you can click around. Now, meanwhile, I've got 2 VMs running in the background. So while I'm scrubbing around in this one, I do have 2 VMs running. And they're full GUI VMs. They're not like lightweight VMs. So yeah. So that was just a quick tour. If you want to see more, you can watch some of my other UGREEN videos, because the OS is virtually the same with these. So you can go in and get a full tour of those. So for me, it's really about the hardware power and the software and how they come together. And I think now for me, with how good the virtual machines are getting, I can do a lot of the stuff I was doing in Proxmox with a separate machine. And then I also had Proxmox hooked up to a NAS. So I had like 2 things going on right there. I could probably replace those 2 boxes with one of these. I haven't moved it all over yet. I need to grab a big pile of hard drives. But for a lot of the stuff I'm doing, these virtual machines will work fine. You've got some advanced settings and stuff. So you could have several virtual machines running on this while also using it as a file server, and while also using it to sling media to all your different devices around the house, because we have those 10 gigabit Ethernet ports. And also with the M.2, I can put some virtual machines onto the M.2, the ones that I want to be kind of snappy and stuff. And you can even pick to install certain apps onto the M.2. For me, I think that this is the future, and this is where we should be going, is toward all of these hardware features and all of these software features. So grab a UGREEN. That's my little pitch. Grab a UGREEN, because if they grow and their ecosystem grows, we'll all be in good shape. And I like the fact that they're being really cool about keeping everything private, allowing us to have privacy, and then also notifying us when there's a setting that is not private, like, hey, this will connect you to the cloud and it may not be private. I like the fact that in the menus it says this may not be private, so it's off, and you can turn it on if you want to, but just know what you're doing. Anyway, so that's the iDX6011 non-pro. Still really fast. Really fast. Just not quite as fast when it comes to AI, but for everything else, and if you don't care about that, it's a really good way to go. See you next time.